What's happening, guys? Just made the account update a minute ago, so I'm doing another drug war video. I think I did marijuana so far, did weed. So if you haven't seen that, go watch that. This is going to be a continue of that. So now we're going to talk about alcohol. This video is going to be on alcohol. Little history lesson. Well, first off, alcohol is alcohol. There really is no street names for it. There's a bunch of different types of alcohol. Of course, there's beer, there's whiskey, there's wine, there's vodka, there's rum, there's moonshine, gin, champagne. There's a few I can think off the top of my head. I'm sure there's probably lots more out there, but this is what I can think off the top of my head. And you got the energy drinks like the Four Locos and stuff like that. But it's all kind of different, brands like Smirnoff and Everclear and Budweiser and Keystone, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Bud Light, that's beer. You got whiskey, Jack Daniels, Kentucky Gentleman, Old Granddad. Oh, I forgot rum. They got rum too. Captain Morgan Spice Rum. Bacardi, Crown Royal, Smirnoff, Everclear. I think I already said those. Moonshine. If you don't know what moonshine is, it's homemade alcohol. It's illegal because the government can't tax it. The government's not making money off it, so that's why it's legal to make your own moonshine. Your little history lesson. Alcohol has been as our in American, been the world history. Beer was originally made in Germany. Ireland's a big drinking country. America's, a big drinking country for years. Back in the 40s and 50s, Depression, that's what they did. Now, prohibition of alcohol happened because the wives of all the drunks back then, they got tired of them drinking. That's why they made alcohol legal. And then that's when you get prohibition, which is what's going on with marijuana and all the other drugs today, and that's why you're getting all this violence. Because you ought to know Al Capone and his generation, that happened around prohibition. Al Capone was a big moonshine dealer, alcohol distributor, You had talking heads and talking heads back then, because you hear Talking Head Club. That was secret bars that, were disguised so that when the cops come, they wouldn't know it's a bar. That was back, around there, yeah. Prohibition of alcohol. And that's why other prohibition doesn't work today. Because still, people are going to do what they want to do. So anyways, alcohol, all it is ethanol, sugar, and yeast. That's really all it is. I'll tell you, just about any kind of hand sanitizer, there's alcohol in it. There's gas, of course, is a big alcohol. Listerine. I wasn't a big drinker when I was getting higher, when I was using drugs. I drank, there's nothing else around just to, give me my stuff I've done on this. Of course, I've drank a few beers, I've had Budweiser, I've drank Bud Light, Keystone, I've drank Jack, I've drank Kentucky Gentleman, I've had, Captain Morgan's Parrot Rum, a Smirnoff, like the wine cooler Smirnoffs. I've had Triple Sec and a couple other things, but that's just qualifying myself. I like some moonshine back in the day. I like getting moonshine every now and then, but been clean for a year. I'm just telling you what I've done. It really isn't any street name for alcohol besides alcohol, booze. Really, if you're a drinker, they call you alcoholic or a drunk. Alcohol has affected my family. I've seen it firsthand. My dad was alcoholic until he got clean. Had a strong hold on him. There's different kinds of alcoholics. There's functional alcoholics. That's the ones that can, drink and still function, go to work and hold a job. And there's alcoholics that can't hold a job and sit around and drink all day. And they wind up drinking themselves to death. Like my great uncle, my grandma's brother, he drank himself to death. He used to be an altar boy. When he was younger, he used to go steal the wine from the church and go behind church and get drunk. My grandfather, he was a heavy drinker, but he was functional. You know what I mean? He drank afterward. He didn't drink before work, but when he got home, he drank. And we go out crabbing, they get drunk. They had to flip a coin, see if you drive over to Bay Bridge, him and his friend. It's just a big part of our culture. It's acceptable in our culture. They got all these TV ads, about, you see it all the time. The Sakis guy. I don't drink beer all the time, but when I do, I choose Dos Equis, Stay Thirsty, my friends, that whole thing. All that propaganda crap to get, people into drinking. You see all the Bud Light commercials around football season with the little coaches, Mike Ditka was in one of them. That was funny. Oh yeah, Coors Light, I forgot, it's another main one. Alcohol is very destructive. I mean, it's a depressant. It's not a alcohol is a drug. It's a depressant. It slows everything down. A lot of people get violent. You know what I mean? Alcohol is a violent and destructive drug. You know what I mean? You can't drive right. I mean, there are some professional drunk drivers out there, like my granddad. He's been doing it for a long. He don't drink as much as he used to, but he's a professional drunk driver. You know what I mean? But alcohol is a big part of our culture. You know, it's legal. The only thing's not legal is you make moonshine. Actually, NASCAR was created by the moonshiners. NASCAR because they wanted to have faster cars that could outrun the cops, and they started making all these stock cars, and make them faster. That's how NASCAR began. If y'all didn't know that, but that's really alcohol is just legal. They tax a lot. Government gets money out of it. That's why it's legal. You know, it's destructive. It's affecting my family life. I've seen it firsthand. I have a lot of people in my family are alcoholics or are alcoholics. You know what I mean? So that's really my thing on alcohol. So, alright guys, I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna do another video. I'm gonna do all the drugs. That's just my take on that. But oh, actually, let me talk about this real quick. The whole drunk driving thing. You know, people get DUIs and DWIs. A DUI is driving under the influence. DWI is driving while intoxicated. You know, same difference. But that's another thing. The cops get, you know, government makes a lot of money off of DWIs and the DUIs. Some states, cops have to make quotas of how many arrests they have a year. You know what I mean? That's just another reason them to traffic stop you. You start swerving, they think you're drunk. A lot of accidents are caused by drunk drivers. You know what I mean? You might not, because see, when you're driving, alcohol makes your muscles relax, and so you don't tense up. So your body doesn't get hurt as much because when you get hit, because your sensors are not right, you're slower. You know what I mean? That's why it kills a lot of people. That's another reason it's so destructive, because people get behind the wheel and drinking and driving, and people get killed. That's my take on alcohol. So, alright guys, see you.